All right, quick garden update. It's hot. We've only had a couple inches of rain so far this year here in Maryland. It's just been so incredibly dry. Now we're going into like an extended forecast of 90 to 100 degree days, but I've been pouring the water on and everything's doing fantastic. So sweet potatoes are really loving the heat. Cucumbers everywhere. The nasturtiums are like almost like shrubs now, they're so big. The tomatoes, all these tomatoes are just fully loaded. The cucumbers are coming up everywhere. The watermelons are loving this. They love to crawl on this landscape fabric here. Like this is right here, this is one plant roughly. It's just huge. Just one plant planted in that corner. Dill everywhere, basil everywhere. Pumpkins, squash, one lone giant sunflower from last year. Corn is doing great. This lettuce, it's from Johnny's Selected Seed. It's starting to bolt and it's starting to get a little bitter, but you can still totally eat it. It's still actually really good and really producing. It's doing good in the heat. You can see here, there are lemon cucumbers everywhere. Those are fun. Onions are doing crazy good. Some really nice and big ones. Again, this nasturtium here is like just a monster. More corn. Eggplants are covered in blooms. This is freesia. You'll see a lot of them are opening up. This is a perennial, so it'll come back every year. I just love it. Love the colors. And it's hard to get a good picture of it, but like so, it stands about 4, maybe 5 feet tall, loaded in blossoms that haven't even opened yet. Tomatoes, sunflowers. This end down here is getting really dry. This is the western or the southern end on both these beds, and it's been really hard to keep them not just wet but just cooler. Here in the northern end, like you'll see how much better they're doing. More nasturtium, horseradish everywhere right here. This is where my garlic was, and you'll see I planted cucumbers because we can get at least probably 3, maybe 4 growing seasons of cucumbers, because once they produce, and then within a couple months they start dying. So you definitely want to stagger those. Tomatoes. More tomatoes, onions. The parsley is doing great. The carrots are still growing. They're doing great. There's some pepper plants tucked in here. I don't care about them. This is where the radishes were. I just put some double shredded hardwood mulch there to cover up the soil. Basil. A bit more basil. I don't know what to do with. But I don't have any bugs, so that's fantastic. The 24 basil plants, the 16 nasturtiums that I raised from seed from Walmart. Yeah, just buy it at Walmart. Are just doing awesome. Yeah, just to give you a signs of scale, that bed that's a 2 by 12. That's how big that guy is. These are the Texas giant onions, and there's several of them that are really getting some size on them. Potatoes are still doing good. Have some ideas on how I'm going to do that differently next year. But there were my pecan trees. There's 100 there. I planted 2 pecans because I left them in the fridge for 3 months. Then I soaked them and then I planted them, and they almost every one of those had germinated. And then the squirrels found them and ate every one of them, all 100. Little rats. Anyway, that's it for this update.